Welcome to the topic Digital Fraud and Security. By the end of this topic, you will be able to identify the different types of online digital frauds and also list secure practices to avoid fraud. Do you know that everyone is prone to threats associated with digital world? Take a look at this data on cyber crimes in 2024. Approximately 43% of cyber attacks target small businesses. Human error is the main cause of 95% of cyber security breaches. 60% data breaches involve insiders. 63% companies with BYOD policy had a mobile data breach. 3 in 10 users have been victims of data breaches due to weak passwords. Approximately 2.9 billion records breached in 2024. Over 2,200 hacker attacks in a day. So, how can you safeguard your devices and the data stored in them? Let's look at some best practices that should be followed by everyone while using your devices. Digital fraud happens when criminals use tricks like fake emails, websites, or harmful software to steal your personal information or money. Now that we understand what digital fraud is, let's look at the various types of digital fraud. Some of the different types of digital fraud are identity theft, credit card fraud, wire fraud, imposter fraud, phishing and malware. Let's look at each of these digital frauds. Identity theft is when someone steals your personal information, like your name, address, email, or bank details, and uses it to pretend to be you. They might buy things, take money, or commit fraud using your identity. Let's understand with an example. A fraudster obtains Riya's Aadhaar card details through a fake loan application process. What happens? The fraudster uses Riya's details to open a bank account in her name. He misuses the account and also takes a loan, leaving Riya with the debt. Lesson learnt is to never share sensitive documents with unverified parties. Next, let's explore credit card fraud. A credit card fraud occurs when someone uses your debit or credit card information illegally for financial transactions without your knowledge. For example, Arjun receives a call claiming to be from his bank, asking for his credit card number and CVV to update his account. What happens? The fraudster makes unauthorized purchases online. Arjun notices the transactions when he checks his statement. Lesson learned: banks never ask for your CVV or OTP over the phone. Have you heard about wire fraud? Let's explore that next. Wire fraud is when someone tricks you into sending money electronically, such as through bank transfers or payment apps, by lying or pretending to be someone they're not. Let's look at an example. Imagine you get a message on your phone saying it's from your school, asking for money to help students in need. What happens? The message looks real, so you send the money through an app. Later, you find out it wasn't from your school, but a scammer pretending to be them. Lesson: always verify payment requests directly with the official organization. Another type of fraud is imposter fraud. Let's understand it. Imposter fraud occurs when someone pretends to be a person or organization you trust. They trick you into giving them money or sharing personal information. For example, Priya gets a WhatsApp message from a number with her professor's profile picture, claiming, "I urgently need rupees 5,000 for a medical emergency. Please send via UPI." What happens? Priya transfers the amount, only to discover later that her professor's account was hacked. Lesson: always verify with the person through a direct call before sending money. We come across the term phishing often, but what does this mean? Let's understand. Phishing is when someone tries to trick you online to steal your money or personal information, like your credit card number or bank details. Let's look at an example. Rohit gets an email claiming to be from his bank, with a link to update his account details to avoid account suspension. What happens? The link leads to a fake login page where he enters his bank credentials. Fraudsters access his account and transfer money out. Lesson: avoid clicking on links in suspicious emails or messages. Directly visit the official website. Next, let's look at malware, another type of fraud. Malware is like a bad software or a digital virus that can harm your computer, phone, or tablet. It can steal your personal or financial information without you knowing. For example, Sneha downloads a free movie from an untrusted website. The file contains malware that records her keystrokes. So what happens? The fraudsters capture her internet banking username and password. They log in and transfer money from her account. Lesson: use antivirus software and avoid downloading files from untrusted sources. Is there a way to avoid such frauds? Let's look at them. Firstly, create strong passwords. A password is a secret word or code you use to protect your personal devices and information. It acts like a lock to keep others out of your accounts and data. The stronger your password, the harder it is for fraudsters to break into your accounts. A strong password must have a combination of characters such as special characters, uppercase and lowercase letters and numbers. While there's no strict requirement for a specific password length, incorporating a combination of character types, as suggested, strengthens the defense of your devices and data protection. The next way to reduce risk is by changing passwords regularly. This makes it harder for someone to crack or guess your password. Remember, the most common passwords are the easiest to guess. Some of these passwords include your birth or anniversary date, name of your pet, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, or your child or husband or sister's name. The next precaution is to be careful of what information you share. The internet is like a public place. Avoid sharing personal details like your Aadhaar card details, PAN card details, home address, phone numbers, or financial information. Don't share your banking details with anyone unknown. Only provide your details on trusted or secure websites. Don't respond to emails asking for your bank details. Keep an eye on your bank transactions and confirm with your bank directly in case of doubt. Be suspicious of unknown emails. When you receive emails asking for personal information, check the sender. Confirm that the message is from a trusted source, like friends, relatives, or people you know, and not from a fraudster. Think before sharing. Don't rush sharing sensitive details such as your name, financial data, passwords, and more. Beware of pressure. Scammers might push or frighten you. Stay calm. Spot odd language. Look for mistakes or odd tone. Be cautious. Verify with the company. Use official contacts from official websites and phone books if in doubt. Stay safe online. Always be careful about what websites you visit. Visit websites you know are trustworthy and widely recognized. Look for a lock symbol or HTTPS in the web address. It means the site is secure. Don't click on links from unknown sources, they might be dangerous. If a website has lots of strange things or ads, it might not be safe. Also, make sure your phone or computer is up to date with the latest software and security updates to stay safe online. Be careful about what files you download. Get files only from trusted places you know won't harm your device. Avoid clicking on pop-up ads for downloads, they could be tricky. Don't click on links from unknown sources, they might be dangerous. Don't download attachments from unfamiliar emails, especially if they ask for personal info. Now that you have understood the ways to keep yourself safe, what do you do in case a fraud occurs? Let's understand. In case you see any suspicious activity that you didn't authorize, you need to report it. Call your bank and share your concerns. Visit your branch and speak to a staff member. You can also do online reporting via their website or app. Explain what happened and share relevant info. Use an extra layer of security where possible. 2. Factor authentication uses a password and a one-time passcode or authentication code sent to a mobile phone via SMS, which when entered allows the user to finally access the account. Enter username and password to log in. You will receive an authentication code on mobile. Enter the authentication code for further access. By following these best practices, you can avoid being a cybercrime victim. Always use incognito mode while using any browser. By this, your activity will not be saved on the browser. Keep your antivirus updated. Keep a backup of your data. Always use two-factor authentication. Never save passwords or credentials on the browser. Never download apps from third-party link. Never share your personal information on any unsecured website or app such as gaming apps. Never download any file without virus scanning. Never leave your device unattended. Never share your passwords. Thank you.